Who can help colleges in this respect? HEFCE provides funding and development projects, and you are linked to many of those projects through, for example, lifelong learning networks. QAA is responsible for seeing that institutions meet standards and quality. FDF are very helpful in engaging employers and broker specific curriculum development and accreditation. They're a very good organisation to be involved with as you're setting in place a new curriculum. JISC provides technology support and development, the business and community education strand in particular. And the Higher Education Academy supports development and enhancement across the sector. So you can see there a group of institutions who are there to help you and who you should not be afraid to approach. In my own case, in the case of my own organisation, what we're attempting to do is, in the first place, to try and join up policy, because we've often seen a fragmentation of work between national agencies. So we have been trying very hard to get the higher education institutions to work together in this respect to make for a coherent strategy. As John will underline, I think, what needs to be bridged is the gap between the agencies that support higher education and the agencies that support further education. We've been doing a lot of work to help institutions shape their strategic intent because, as I said before, unless you make this central to your strategy, you're not going to do it on a very great scale or very well. So we work with the special interest group of Pro-Vice-Chancellors who are going to be producing a management publication during this year, which I think will help all institutions. We have a higher education and further education network, and we have a consultancy service which is available to you if there are aspects of this work that you're not confident about and you would like to have the services of some higher education expertise to support you for a short period of time. We can identify the right consultant for you and we can fund 2 or 3 days worth of work for you. So do think about that one and contact me if you think you'd like to follow that up. We're also supporting practitioners very directly. We have an exchange group, which is a network of those projects funded by HEFCE in the employer engagement pilots, who are looking to publish and disseminate good practice in pedagogical terms, again during this year. We're hoping to convene a supra network because there are so many initiatives going on that need to talk to one another in order to accelerate and to share practice, and that will happen during 2009. We have 24 subject centres, and for the purposes of this conference, the Engineering Subject Centre, which Carol Arlott and others who are here represent, Carol's in the audience, are very important, I think, in helping individual institutions to work with one another in order to accelerate developments. The subject centres engage with sector skills councils to help interpret sector skills agreements at higher education level. They network key stakeholders related to the particular sectors. Carol has a very active and energetic group of professional bodies and sector skills councils and others engaged in the engineering agenda. Subject centres also support the development of 14 to 19-year-old diplomas to make sure that progression is assured. They network disciplinary groups to disseminate best practice. They conduct innovatory projects. And many of those subject centres have FE support officers to help you. We're also engaging in more research because the employer engagement agenda is an under-researched field. And so we facilitate a community of practice of researchers, and we're commissioning new research. Last year, we did some work on the impact of work-based learning on employees and employers. We looked at the costs of work-based learning, and we conducted a literature review. And all of those are available on the Higher Education Academy website to support you. And in 2009, we're launching an observatory, which should be a very good resource for you to connect you to all of the literature of the field. What can you do to help yourself then, in conclusion? You need to identify where you have unique selling propositions. What are you particularly good at? What are your strengths? And where are there genuine gaps in the market? And match those together. There's a lot of wasted energy in developing new curriculum that actually duplicates what is already there or where there isn't a genuine need in your area. That is an important piece of analysis. We need to act in a complementary and collaborative manner to join things up for employers. They're not particularly interested whether their development comes from higher education institutions, further education colleges, private training providers. They don't care. What they care about is, do they get what they need? So if we can work together and make that simple for them, as many of us have been trying to do through lifelong learning networks, I think that will be much appreciated and we'll be all more fruitful in our endeavours. We need to engage on employers' terms, not on our own terms. We need to be genuinely demand-led. We need to engage with good partners, and if you find difficulty in getting support of higher education partners, talk to FDF. They will put you in touch with universities who will work with you more constructively. Familiarise yourself with good practice. All those examples that I've referred to are out there. Make use of them. Learn what you can from them. Draw support from the relevant agencies, as I've illustrated. And respect the QAA code, especially sections 2 on collaboration and section 9 on work-based learning. The latter has been amended to make it more friendly, but we do need to work within those auspices, because if the standards of higher education qualifications are seen to fall, then it doesn't do any of us any favours. And most importantly, perhaps, review and evaluate your work in order to improve it. Don't just do it and take it for granted. Look carefully at it, use the feedback that you get, and work out where you're doing well and where things need to improve. Be reflective practitioners. That scholarly approach is what the higher education experience is actually about.